City Commission for Tuesday, November 11th will come to order. Please join me in silencing your cell phones. And now Police Department Chaplain Bev Richardson will give us the invocation. Please rise and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you for joining me in prayer. Let us pray. Creator God, we give thee thanks for the blessing of living in and around New Smyrna Beach. Your blessings descend upon us each day as the morning rise and the joy of walking our beaches and living in this community. Help us to be mindful that it's not only for us, but it's for our children and our children's children. So tonight, oh God, we give thee thanks first for the veterans that have given their lives to give us the liberty, that continue to work in our services here and all around the world. Help us not to abuse that, but to do our responsibility. We thank you, oh Lord, for those in our community, our support staffs in the police department, fire department, emergency. There's so many people that give and put others first, and we give you thanks for their service. Tonight we ask, oh Lord, that your spirit be upon our council and upon our mayor as they are part of making decisions that lead to the direction we will go. We have that responsibility, for we have built upon foundations that we didn't lay, and others will build upon the foundation that we do. So, oh God, tonight is with joy and with thanksgiving and gratitude. This is a month of gratitude. Open our eyes to be grateful every day. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now, Marine Sergeant Neil Coates, our very own Reverend Coates, will deliver the Pledge of Allegiance and lead us in honor of the Marine Corps' 250th birthday.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Preacher. Please be seated. Point of personal privilege here, I'd like to make the announcement that last time we were in this room, the leader, one of the leaders of the pickleball club, Phil Hall, was here issuing the challenge against for the pickleball club to our first responders. Mr. Hall has passed and is no longer with us. Our sympathies go out to his family. Mr. Cowper, any changes to the agenda, sir?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of items. I am pulling two items from the agenda this evening. Item 7B on the consent agenda.
7B is in Bravo, got it.
Yes, sir. And under quasi-judicial hearings, item 9A. We will
9A.
reschedule those items for a later meeting.
Roger that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. We'll move on to section 4, presentations. It's the Nadine Miller Preservation Award, and I've asked Senior Planner Bob Mathan to come up and lead us through that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the city created the Historic Preservation Award back in 2002, and in 2009, the award program was renamed in memory of Donna D. Miller, who was an active volunteer and member of the community. Ms. Miller served as the chair of the historic New Smyrna Beach Preservation Commission, and she worked as an amateur archaeologist and participated in numerous other historic preservation events and activities. Awards are given to properties that promote pride to the city's past, and they increase awareness and appreciation for buildings that contribute to the history and the character of New Smyrna Beach. So buildings that are 50 years old or older, or sites associated with a historic event, are eligible. With that, I'd like to invite Mayor Cleveland and the city commissioners down to the podium so we can give out a presentation of the award. I'd also like to invite Catherine Kaufman to the podium, and she's been chosen as the Donna D. Miller Preservation Award winner for the category residential for her house at 809 East 24th Avenue. Also, I'd like to invite Steve Fuliser with the podium, as he's been chosen as the Donna D. Miller Preservation Award for the category non-residential for the building located at 101 Canal Street. And with that, the planning department would like to thank all the applicants for submitting their applications this year, and we're always willing to accept any applications for the next year's cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Planner Mathan. Appreciate that. Well done. Mr. Manager, your report, sir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a few things this evening I wanted to report on. Hopefully, as people entered the chambers this evening, they saw that we were having an open house about some upcoming amendments to our comprehensive plan. Those folks will be out in the lobby until 7:30 this evening, so please stop by if you haven't and get some information about that planning effort that will be ongoing this year. At the next meeting will be November the 18th, so we have a condensed schedule this month out of respect for Thanksgiving week. So a meeting again next Tuesday, November the 18th. At that meeting, I anticipate that we will have the graduates of our Citizens Academy on hand to receive your congratulations on graduating from that program. So we're definitely excited about that. Also at the next meeting, November 18th, Samantha Bergeron, our Economic Development Director and CRA Director, will be here and will give you an update and the community an update on her activities. At the December 9th meeting, our Capital Project Director will be on hand to give everyone an update on ongoing capital projects. Mentioning December meeting, that again will be December the 9th. There will only be one meeting in December. And just a couple of other things I wanted to mention real quickly. Our crews have been hard at work putting up all of the holiday lights, and we've got a lot of activity and events going on in celebration of the holiday season. So encourage everybody to attend all of those events, and not the least of which is the Christmas parade that will be on Saturday, December the 6th. And also wanted to start something a little bit new this evening, recognizing some of our city employees on their achievements. We have well over 300 employees, and they all do really, really good work. And they are undertaking various educational efforts and certificates and things of that nature. And I did want to recognize some of those. Janet Vivian for attaining her Certified Public Procurement Officer status. Stephanie Kaufman for achieving a FEMA IS 230 certificate. Demi Alvarez and really the entire HR team for the recognition they received for the wellness program. And Christopher Smith, who obtained his CDL license. So congratulations to those employees, and we'll have more recognitions monthly. And that, one thing I did want to highlight again, we are giving monthly updates on our capital improvement projects, and in particular, our stormwater management plan. We're also doing monthly updates on our parking plan. Those are attached monthly to the city manager report, and encourage everybody to look at those and get up-to-date information on the activities that we're undertaking. With your leadership, we are really accomplishing a lot in the area of stormwater management in particular. And I know that the citizens are interested in that, and so encourage everybody to look at those reports. And we'll continue to provide in-person updates in that regard with our city engineer, because I know everybody's interested in that topic. That's everything I have, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. And also, like you said, the citizenry really is focused on that. And so those in-person events will be really good in helping us get the word out. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
It's time for public participation. If there are any citizens who wish to speak on matters pertinent to the city, please come forward. You have 3 minutes to give us your monologue. It's not a dialogue. We won't be answering questions. And so as you come forward, you'll see the green light come on. You'll have 3 minutes. When the yellow light comes on, you'll have 1 minute, and you need to be finished by the time the red light comes on. So as you come forward, your name and address for the record, please. Good evening, Regis.
Good evening. Lillian Conrad on behalf of New Smyrna Beach Main Street, Inc., doing business as Canal Street Historic District. My office is at 305 Magnolia if you need the street address. I wanted to take a minute to thank the city for all they do to make our community so bright and cheery during the holiday season. And I do see you at work every day. Thank you very much. I hope you will look favorably at our applications for the events that we plan. This is, I believe, the 16th year of this tradition, and we're looking forward to having another great time and hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Conrad. Anybody else for public participation? Come right ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm not such a familiar face here, but I have been doing business in this wonderful city for just a little over 17 years. On Flagler Avenue, I have the Christmas Stop, and I also own Clean Karma Living.
And just your name for the record.
Jenny Narado.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry, thought I said that, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm here to make a statement on the Pedal Pub. Okay, Flagler Avenue has just under 90 businesses that employ over 800 residents. 23 of our businesses, and most of the jobs are from the hospitality sector. This sector is under pressure on Flagler Avenue and everywhere, with rising operational costs against flat sales. It is against this backdrop and other real concerns that I am here tonight to voice FABA's opposition to the proposed Pedal Pub amendment. First, the association has always been against drop-in businesses that prey on our reputation and brand to bounce in, set up shop for a few hours, and then leave town with money that could have been better spent locally. Second, we are opposed to the overall concept of drinking while pedaling along the street. This proposal, we feel, will result in local and visitor confusion with our open container laws in general. Third is reputation and branding. Flagler Avenue is our most visited destination outside of our beach, and over time, the street has become more focused on food and less on drink. Adding such an activity will negatively impact our economic direction on the avenue and what we are trying to undertake there. And lastly, though we don't speak for Canal Street, the very exciting evolution and direction that they are going also does not seem to include pedal pubs in their economic profile. So it is for these concerns that we oppose the pedal pub concept as presented between the city's Economic Development Office and both FABA and Canal Business Associations. We feel there are surely better alternatives to develop.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments.
Okay.
Is there anyone else for public participation? Evening, Ms. Devine.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Devine, 3205 Hill Street. I just wanted to commend the city for a wonderful Veterans Day celebration today at the Brennan Center. Very special. I just wanted to offer an opposing view on the pedal cabs. As someone who has in the past, for families like mine with older children, we find it to be a wonderful activity. We've done it before in several different cities, and we enjoyed having a professional guide give us a tour on things we might miss when we're in our cars. It's also better than having 6 of us on a bike riding around town. So I do think it's a way that we could share our rich New Smyrna Beach history with our visitors, having a professional guide. And also, pedal cabbing is great for all ages. Even my elderly father was able to participate because in reality, you don't have to pedal, only if you want to. So I believe it could be safe. It would have to be closely monitored. But it could also benefit our local businesses because every time we've gone on a pedal cab, we go out to dinner and we shop before or after, or both. So I think it might be a great activity to consider, and especially if you're celebrating a special occasion, such as a birthday or anniversary. It's just something nice to do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Evening.
Hello, I'm Allie Rogers, 811 East 27th. I have a couple of things I just want to bring up in my short time. I don't make it to these very often. As you see, I have a little one. I have another little one back home who you've seen at previous meetings. I'm a current Citizens Academy student, I guess I would say. I'm not going to be able to make it to graduation, but I just wanted to commend Philip and all of the directors and everyone that's been able to participate in the Citizens Academy. It's just been such a wonderful program, and I feel so much more involved in our city and able to speak up about these initiatives and kind of bring, I know you're talking about misinformation, kind of bring that down a little bit on social media as I'm more online than I maybe am out in the world. So thank you for that and for reviving that. I think city manager, that was your doing. And thank you to Philip and everybody else. I also want to commend David Ray. He's been incredible with the 27th Avenue Park. We go there all the time. I live on 27th. Saturdays, there's like 40 plus people and kids there. It's just an amazing park, so keep up the good work. I'm so happy to be working with David Ray on some of these initiatives for additional parks, and so I just commend him for that. He's always been so responsive. He's been helping me institute possibly a sidewalk on 27th. I know that there was some opposition to that a few weeks ago at a city meeting. I am the lady that my neighbor Kim Cohen had addressed. I've been door knocking. People are generally in favor of this sidewalk, and so I'm going to keep fighting for that, and you will see me hear more. But I think the way that she got those signatures was due to a little bit of misinformation, and so I'm hoping to kind of re-bring that to light and working with David Ray and the rest of you on that. And then finally, the Pedal Pub. I am also opposed on this for everything that the Flagler business had sort of initiated. I read Chief Kirk's letter and email, and I just sort of really feel passionate about that I would love to keep New Smyrna Beach small. I don't think that our city and our streets and our infrastructure needs a pedal pub at this time. I understand that that was a great diverse perspective on something you don't always have to drink on these things or learning about history. But I just do not think that our infrastructure can handle more of these tourism type infrastructure and initiatives. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments.
Hello, everyone. Mayor, Commission, staff. Sharon Glenn, 1111 South Atlantic Avenue. So first, what Ali said, Citizens Academy is awesome. Thank you so much for arranging it and everyone that's participated in it. It's been really cool to learn about our city, about a lot of things that I didn't know. Secondly, I had emailed with some of you about SB 180 and how long we have to join the class and everything like that. It would be interesting to know if there's an ability to still join the class and what's going on with that so that we can keep on the pulse of that so that we can keep our home rule. Lastly, this has been on my mind for quite some time, has kept me from sleeping sometimes, because I've heard this expressed beforehand that the city is like a corporation, and that sometimes the interests of the corporation don't necessarily align with the citizens, and that's when there are problems. But the issue to me with this argument is that a corporation has shareholders, and we're the shareholders, so our interests should align. And I think most of the time, the happiest relationships are when you join, like when you're working for a corporation, is when you join one where your values are aligned. And I think that most people who choose to live in New Smyrna are aligned with the values that we have in our community, and they're values of a small town that you don't see everywhere. You know, if you go to different places, people are very distracted. They drive around on their cell phones. Here, you see people, you see kids riding around the street on their bikes, and I think that's beautiful. And so I think that we want to kind of maintain the integrity of the values that we have. And with that, that kind of goes to the Pedal Pub. I think that is a really cool initiative, but it has been banned in certain cities. So I think it might be good to look into why, and I don't necessarily know that it is completely aligned with our city and what we seek to attract. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else for public participation? Dr. Herman, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission, City staff. I'd like to also thank the city for honoring the veterans today, as a veteran myself, and taking the time and celebrating and honoring so many people in our community. It's very important. And also, I would like to point out that next to the celebration, you may have seen all the flags in Riverside Park. Those were done by the Kiwanis. This year, they had over 220 flags. So for anyone next year, you can honor someone in your family or friends who has served. So it's just good to see our city acknowledging those people, past, current, and future. The other thing I'd like to talk to is the recent election. I think I had a lot of trouble when you reversed your vote during the city manager's report, which I don't feel was in the spirit of the Sunshine Act. It's not illegal, but it wasn't on the agenda, and you reversed your decision. I really do think, personally, for me, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was very disappointed with that move. I didn't think the election had to be rushed. Our city attorney confirmed that through the Attorney General of our state. There was no real reason for that hurriedness. So one of my concerns was we would have a poor voter turnout, but in fact, it was a remarkable turnout, probably one of the higher turnouts for a special election. That says something about the dialogue that was created. Now, the dialogue could also be very divisive, and that's one of my worries, is that you saw a lot of signs that said vote yes, and you saw a lot of signs that said vote no. And I think the one thing I took, and this is my own opinion, is that the voters really did express a strong concern for historic preservation, not a passive stance, but a proactive one. So the change in the language they felt was a negative change. There was a positive vote for culture and the environment. I think that speaks a lot what the young woman just said about the citizens of New Smyrna. And of course, there was a good vote for reviewing the charter on a regular basis. There were other items that were voted down that would take a lot longer than the 3 minutes that I have to speak, but I do hope that this isn't the end of the debate, that there's some major decisions you all have to make about your own salaries, about what happens to the city clerk. There's some really significant things that are facing us, but I hope that this has taken our city not into a more divisive stance, but a more collaborative one. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City staff. My name is Claudia Vanderhorst. I live at 562 Aeolian Drive. I'm here to talk to you about the ordinance B, C, and D that's on tonight's agenda. in regard to a request for annex, zoning change, and land use change. I live in the Isles of Sugar Mill, which is right on the corner of Pioneer and Sugar Mill. Although my understanding is NSB may not have a zoning ordinance for spot zoning, if this zoning change is completed where it goes from urban medium density to 100% commercial, it raises the question of preferential treatment that this developer may receive over and above anybody else to force 100% commercial in the middle of 100% residential that exists as part of the comprehensive plan today. There have been lawsuits filed and won because of the preferential treatment appearance, because the benefit is only given to the land developer that's asking for the zoning change. There's not a benefit to the 2,500 homes that already exist directly around that little lot of land. In speaking with county officials, they have expressed, they've identified, because this is still in the county, they want to annex into the city. The county identifies this as an enclave property. In other words, it's surrounded by residential. There's no commercial in the area. And for that reason, it's very questionable to make that decision and change it from a urban medium density to 100% commercial. It's just not an accepted practice, and it's very questionable. The other concerns we have are the 2,500 homes that exist that are occupied already. The 300 apartments that have just been built right to the south of it are not yet occupied, but they're going to be very soon. They're going to be, that piece of property squeezed right in between Coastal Woods and those brand new apartments across the street from Serena Lakes on a blind curve. I went in to check out the apartments just out of curiosity because they're opening them for tours now. And the one thing that really surprised me was when I tried to get out of that complex. I sat for 15 minutes because of the amount of traffic going north and south on that blind curve. And that's okay if there's going to be 300 apartments in there trying to do the same thing. But what concerned me was having a large RV, a truck pulling a trailer with a boat on it, or an RV hauling a vehicle, trying to come onto that same road going 45 to 50 miles an hour. It's not a good fit for it. I've heard arguments that if it remains urban medium development, the volume of vehicles might be worse than just having to deal with slow-moving giant things pulling into a county road. I disagree. The hospital's going in there. The medical campus is going in there. The entrance to, or the emergency entrance for the hospital is also going to be on Sugar Mill within 500 yards of where this is supposed to go in.
Thank you for your comments. I'm afraid your time has expired, but thank you very much.
Can I just finish my sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Thank you.
The greater concern is for the overall use of the property.
Thank you so much. Anyone else for public participation? Evening, Mrs. Taylor.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening. My name is Annette Taylor. I live at 87 Cunningham. I want all of you on this dais to know how much I and many, many others appreciate all that you do and all of the thankless hours that you put into your positions. It is not unnoticed. So many people post about saving the charm of our city, but what bothers me is the uncharming words and opinions that are posted on social media. I want you to all know that there are tens of thousands of us that trust your efforts and appreciate the time and effort you put in to what goes into these positions. There's always going to be the thankless 10% of malcontents or disruptive minorities amongst us that will create a disproportionate impact on the majority. But please know how much all of you are appreciated for your commitments, for your differing views, and for your experiences. And please continue to stay calm and carry on. You are greatly appreciated. And I love everything everybody was saying. I love the views that people bring forward. It's an incredible city. So thank you for allowing us.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else for public participation?
Good evening, all. My name is John Kaplan. I live in the Coastal Woods subdivision. Following up with what Claudia brought up here 2 speakers ago. I'm a little out of my element, so I apologize. But I'm just going to read a couple of things here that we put together in regards to the items 11, I think it was B, C, and D. We attended the project, or the P&Z meeting here a couple of weeks ago. The project engineer stated at the P&Z meeting that the stormwater will not 100% remain on the property in conflict with current city requirements. It will convey into the sugar mill ditches, even though the existing pond is to be expanded and doubled in size. The paved acreage for the storage unit will eliminate almost all previous percolating surfaces within the PUD versus an urban medium density and is zoned as it is zoned for currently. The county stormwater ditches along both sides of Sugar Mill from 44 to Pioneer Trail have been engineered to serve existing developed communities as a sole conveyance of stormwater away, away from them, and are often overwhelmed as they exist today in ordinary rain events, causing frequent flooding of Sugar Mill and Pioneer Trail. In major storm events, the ditches cease to convey, and it forces the stormwater back up into the communities of the Isles of Sugar Mill and Coastal Woods. No additional stormwater volume can be discharged into the Sugar Mill ditches from the RV boat, the proposed RV boat storage unit and other potential development. I've been here for 5 years. We moved here from Oviedo, that a community that we watched grow up in a similar fashion. Our biggest concern is infrastructure in drainage. I don't see it as being where it needs to be currently in order to continue the development pace that we're currently going at. I'm not scared of storms. I'm not scared of high winds, but I am scared of invasive water. And to me, it does not appear that there's an infrastructure built to take on any additional water that's going to be caused by drainage due to more concrete being poured. And I think I'm done. Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate your comments. Thank you so much. Anyone else for public participation?
That walk seems really long when you're walking up here.
Just pull that. Perfect.
My name is Janet Kaplan, and I also live in Coastal Woods. I'm John's wife. We're very active on the HOA. He's actually the vice president. And so we're kind of representing the whole community. But a huge concern in adding with the ordinances, on the table that's going through, I think it's first reading tonight. It's very concerning, in addition to the stormwater, is I don't know how many of you have ever gone out there and driven down Sugar Mill at night when it's dark, and you have so many blind curves. And so you're, and as Claudia brought up about the people pulling, big boats or driving a big RV, and we already have issues where people are trying to turn in, and it's a 2-lane street. My understanding is they're going to be widening it, but what I heard is it's only going to be widened up to the church, which is right up. There's a Jehovah's Witness church there that's just kind of past the drive to go to the fast food restaurants. And that is like right across from the townhomes, the brand new townhomes that people haven't even moved into yet. It is not as far as this proposed storage RV and boat storage unit will be. I also have, in addition to the traffic problem and the curves and the darkness, it is pitch black dark out there right now, and you're going around pretty good, significant curves. So I would encourage y'all to take that drive late at night and just see how dark it is, and then envision somebody that's maybe not sure where they're going, pulling in there with an RV or something. And then the other thing in reference to the stormwater that John mentioned, yes, there's the pond. They're talking about enlarging the pond, but then he also said that the last stage would be the existing, I forgot what he called it, canal something. And those are just basically drainage ditches along each side of the street. They're not deep enough. They're not wide enough. They can't handle it now. And so to John's point about continuing to build right now, can't we just kind of pump the brakes a little bit and see how that corner, because we're getting ready to put the hospital in there, you've got the brand new townhomes in there, you've got us in there, and we don't know how that area is going to handle all that water. And we're already flooding our neighbors as it is right now. So I'm asking that we maybe take a second look and perhaps not approve that zoning change.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your
Thank
comments. Anyone else for public participation? Evening, Ms. Sneziak.
Good evening, Cindy Sneziak, 512 Yukon. Again, kudos on the celebration today. I thought it was fabulous, and the speakers were outstanding that were selected, especially that high school student. Around B, C, and D, something that I ask you to think about. I think that this RV and boat storage facility may be the tipping point for the traffic on that road. So I do frequent some of those fast food restaurants. I'm very pleased we have a Zaxby's and a Culver somewhere. However, it's quite dangerous to use turning right on 44 as the main way out of there because there's so much traffic flowing out of New Smyrna. So because every little bit of development isn't made to do a massive road improvement, this particular change may be the one that has to push that and suck it up. Because if you go out the way most of the people go out, from the Culvers, from the Panera, you are not allowed to turn left on Sugar Mill. That is the safest way to get back onto 44 because there's a light. So what everyone is supposed to do, but doesn't do, is turn right, go down to one of the two subdivisions. Sabrina is one, and there's another one across the street I can't remember the name of, and they do a little U-turn there, and then they put themselves back on Sugar Mill so they can get to the light. So if this development happens now, so far in advance of anything being done to improve that road all the way to 44, it's just going to exacerbate the traffic problem. I'm surprised there aren't accidents there on a regular basis, because if you do sit there with a cup of coffee in your car and look at Panera, you will see just how many people turn left. So I know those fast food restaurants didn't have enough volume to require improvement in the road, but big RVs and big boats turning in are really just asking for a lot of trouble. So if the applicant could speak to that when it comes to the hearing, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else for public participation?
How's everyone doing tonight?
Just your name and address for the record, ma'am.
You know who I am. My name is Michelle Utter. I cannot divulge my address. I'm here in New Smyrna. I was born and raised here. There's 8 generations of my family. Pope's Restaurant was the first restaurant here. My grandfather started the Boat and Ski Club. My other grandfather, he was a New Smyrna police officer, and he was shot in front of Thomas Pharmacy here in New Smyrna. My family has a long line of heritage here in New Smyrna. I have come here before you and also let you know that I was on Governor DeSantis' roundtable, And I do have my testing, and it's pushed me into cancer after taking the Pfizer vaccine and being discharged from a local hospital that's here and terminated because they didn't think that I was hurt or there was no such thing as vaccine injuries. But I have all the information plus information overseas to show exactly what's going on. Since I've been on Governor DeSantis and I've met with Latipo, I have all the information. And I will be working with people to start picketing in front of the local hospitals in Volusia County for all of the hospital protocols that died from remdesivir and so forth. Because no one is helping me, and it's time for me to give back to New Smyrna since New Smyrna doesn't want to give to me. I do want to thank a lot of people in New Smyrna Beach speaking out in regards to flooding. My family's been here for a long time. What a lot of people don't realize is a lot of this land was underwater. And I know my uncle owned a lot of this property, sold it, and had to build it up. I've also had to move from a home because of flooding. My grandparents had to have moved because of flooding. Flooding has always been an issue here. I'm proud of the people of New Smyrna Beach that are speaking out because our government is corrupt. Most of our chairs, anybody in government within the state of Florida, they're mostly paid out. And I'm just here to say this because I am not afraid of any single one of you. But I am proud of New Smyrna Beach residents speaking out on behalf of their land and you taking more care of the tourists instead of the people that actually live here. I have 3 sons that are serving in the U.S. military. They don't even want to come back home where they were raised here because, 1, the pay is terrible, 2, overgrowth, and you guys are running New Smyrna Beach underground. I'm very disappointed.
I appreciate your comments.
I hope you are, and I hope you have a nice night.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else for public participation?
Hi, my name is Susan White. I live at 2942 Gibraltar Boulevard in Coastal Woods. I had no intention to speak tonight, but I just want to tell you that I had an experience in Delaware with stormwater management issues. One of the things I hope you will consider is that I lived in a community where the developer bulkheaded our stormwater management ponds. We were one of the few communities in Delaware that did this. We were a mile from the beach for 21 years. I never had water in my house. So hopefully you can get somebody to look into this. It is rare. My community did make national recognition for it. It was called Savannah's Landing in Ocean View, Delaware. So hopefully that will help you. Thank you.
Thank you for the information. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else for public participation? Seeing none, public participation is now closed. So moving on to the consent agenda, do any of my colleagues wish to comment or question any of the items on consent, noting that we've taken 7B off? Any member of the commission wish to pull any of these items, remove any of these items? Okay, very good. So I would entertain a motion then to approve item 7A, Charlie Delta Echo.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. And so now let's move on to administrative items and new business. Item 8A, which is Resolution 3925. Consider the adoption of a resolution which, if adopted, would authorize borrowing of $5,500,000 from TD Public Finance Company for the Turnbull Creek Watershed land acquisition and authorize the execution of the 2025 General Obligation Loan Agreement and the related documents. I see Director Drury in the batter's box. We're anxious for your report, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This past September, the city issued an RFP seeking a tax-exempt fixed-rate loan for $5.5 million maturing in July 2045 to acquire land along the Turnbull Creek watershed. The city's financial advisor, Joel Tyndall, with Hilltop Securities, assisted with the process. We received 5 proposals, with TD Public Finance being the recommended best option, best overall terms and flexibility, including no prepayment penalty. The proposed note will be repaid from voted ad valorem taxes authorized by the 2018 referendum, which is separate from the city's operating millage. Estimated closing costs are around $50,000, leaving $5.45 million for property purchases. Tonight, we request authorization to adopt the resolution approving this borrowing and to execute the loan agreement and related documents. And Joel Tyndall is here with us tonight if you have any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your report. Any of my colleagues have questions for Director Drury? Then I'd entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 3925.
So moved.
A motion
Second.
and a second. It's a big deal for the city. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Okay, we've eliminated 9A. That's been pulled. Let's move on to public hearings. A public hearing will be held will be conducted to consider the adoption of Ordinance 7725, which, if adopted, would vacate an unopened right-of-way on the airport property. Madam Assistant City Attorney, would you please read 7725 for the second time by title only, please?
Ordinance number 7725, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach vacating a platted unopened right-of-way in the airport commercial subdivision, generally located on the west side of North Dixie Freeway, north and south of Skyline Drive, providing for conflicting ordinances and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Senior Planner Jake Baker's here. We're anxious for your report, sir.
Yes, we have a right-of-way vacation on airport property. Applicant was originally Jacob Cosat, but he was now Arvin Weiss, airport manager for the city airport. We have here is these 3 little sections that you see kind of outlined in yellow. These were originally part of a plat where you could see US 1 going across the top, and then there's an access street that runs parallel. That was kind of the main one that you saw, and then later on they re-subdivided that, which gave us the other sections that you see. So this right here is kind of the easiest one to really get an idea of what you're looking at there. So we have Lost Lagoon there kind of pointed out to the north of that, kind of the staple, the horseshoe kind of looking one there is the yellow piece there, and then there's a little rectangle above that. Then you have the original access road that goes along there. Now, these roads aren't really used for anything in there, and you know, if there is potential redevelopment in the property, they're in the way. They might have to just redesign something else. One of the things we have to do in these vacations is we have to reach out to utilities. There is a 14-inch force main and a 12-inch water main in these right-of-ways, which they're basically getting an easement to maintain those in the future. The city's engineer department did not have any issue with it either. It is zoned I-3. As you see there was a building kind of on the south side that's been removed about 10 years ago. There is just talk at this point of maybe a site plan in the future to put something back there right now, but when this was built back years ago, it was kind of in the middle of the road. So this kind of cleans up a lot of that mess that went on back then. And Planning and Zoning Board recommended 5-0 that you approve, and Development Services does as well. Have any questions for me?
Thank you, Jake. Any questions from my colleagues? Appreciate that. Stand by, Jake. We'll have more later. Public hearing is now open. If there are citizens who wish to speak on this particular matter, please come forward and you'll be heard. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. Any further discussion on the vacation of the unopened right-of-way? I'd entertain a motion then to adopt 7725.
So moved.
A motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. And now a public hearing will be conducted to consider the adoption of Ordinance 7825, which is adopted, would vacate an unopened right-of-way on airport property. Madam City Attorney, Madam Assistant City Attorney, 7825 for the second time by title only, please.
Ordinance number 7825, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach vacating a platted unopened right-of-way in the Cotton Shed subdivision, generally located on Birch Street between Salton Street and Chisholm Street, providing for conflicting ordinances and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Mr. Baker, continue, please.
Okay, on this one, we have applicant Aubrey Cummings Jr., 1925 Northwest 84th Street, Miami, Florida, requesting this right-of-way vacation of a 40-foot wide by 260-foot long unopened platted street right-of-way. So here's where it is. You can see State Road 44 to the north. It is between Chisholm Street and Slatton Street. It's a right-of-way that runs largely east-west. Again, here's kind of a more opened, larger view of where we're looking at here. And then this is it on the original plat. You can see Birch, and then on the other one, it kind of jogs over street. So that is actually Birch Street that they're looking to vacate, just this one section between Slatton and Chisholm. Here it is, the survey itself. As you can see, there is a house and shed and walkway and everything else that is already in this right-of-way. And if we're talking to the Cummings, who own the family, he's a relative of the people that live right there, who's kind of pushing this forward for his uncle. Yeah, he claims that this was actually vacated about 70 years ago, but there's no record of it, which is why his house was put in this street in the first place. So it's where we are today. Basically, it would take this 10,400 square foot piece of property or this right-of-way, and it goes to each side, to north and south. The Mr. Cummings family owns the north side, and another family member has the southeast side, a piece of that, different family member. Then on the west is an unassociated different family owns the other piece. So they would all get a piece of this right-of-way. And again, we recommend approval, as did the City Planning and Zoning Board.
Appreciate that. Any questions for Mr. Baker?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
And Jake, the reason we're not selling it is because the city cannot legally, right?
We cannot sell right-of-way. It's kind of like deeded as part of the plat. So it's nothing that we could sell. It is basically has to be given away.
Thank you. Just wanted to make that clarification. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that. The public hearing is now open. If there are any citizens who wish to speak on this topic, please come forward and you'll be heard. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. Chair would entertain a motion to adopt 7825.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Madam City Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. We're going to move on to first readings. Ordinance 7925, conduct a first reading of an ordinance which, if adopted upon second reading and public hearing, would allow commercial megacycles to be known as pedal pubs within the designated area of New Smyrna Beach, along with authorization for passengers to have open containers. Madam Assistant City Attorney, please read Ordinance 7925 by title only for the first time.
Ordinance number 7925, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 86, Vehicles for Hire, to add Article 4, Commercial Megacycles, providing for codification, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for effective dates. Second hearing and public hearing will be December 9th, 2025.
So December 9th, 2025, we'll open this up, another public hearing and a full discussion. Let's move on to Ordinance 8025, conduct a first reading of an ordinance which, if adopted at the second reading and public hearing, would annex 7.6 acres of land located at 390 Sugar Mill Drive. Madam Assistant City Attorney, would you please read 8025 for the first time by title only?
Ordinance number 8025, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 7.6 plus or minus acres of the property generally located on the west side of Sugar Mill Drive, north of State Road 44, addressed as 390 Sugar Mill Drive, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 4, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for effective date. Second reading and public hearing will be December 9th, 2025.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Ordinance 8125 is the first reading of an ordinance which, if adopted, second reading and public hearing, would approve proposed small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, changing the future land use to commercial and limiting the allowable residential density and floor area ratio on approximately 7.6 acres of land located at the same address, 390 Sugar Mill. Madam Assistant City Attorney, please read 8125 for the first time by title only, please.
Ordinance number 8125, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 7.6 plus or minus acres of future of property generally located on the west side of Sugar Mill Drive, north of State Road 44, address as 390 Sugar Mill Drive, from Volusia County urban medium intensity to city commercial, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, provided for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Second reading and public hearing, December 9th, 2025.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. And the third compendium to this set is 8225, which, if approved, would approve a proposed rezoning application to change the current zoning from county PUD to city PUD on the same 7.6 acres of land located at 390 Sugar Mill Drive, which is also associated with a companion and concurrent applications for the annexation and the revised CPA future land use designation. Madam Assistant City Attorney, if you will, 8225 for the first time by title only.
Ordinance number 8225, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 7.6 plus or minus acres of property generally located on the west side of Sugar Mill Drive, north of State Road 44, addresses 390 Sugar Mill Drive, from Volusia County Plan Unit Development Airport Overlay to the City Plan Unit Development Airport Overlay Zoning District. Approving the Sugar Mill Boat and RV Plan Unit Development Master Development Agreement, authorizing the mayor to execute the Sugar Mill Boat and RV Plan Unit Development Master Development Agreement, providing for conflicting ordinances and providing for severability and providing an effective date. Public hearing and second reading will be December 9th of 2025.
So all these will be together on December 9th. Yes. Very good. Okay, let's move on to boards and commissions. We have a reappointment opportunity for two citizens to serve a 4-year term expiring on August 31st, 2029. Madam City Clerk, your report.
The Housing Authority is defined by state statutes to provide affordable, safe, and decent housing for state's low-income residents and manage these efforts in a sustainable and effective way. Currently, our Housing Authority meets the second Monday in each month here in the chambers. This is a 5-member board with a 4-year term length. And tonight, for the mayor's consideration for reappointment, we have 2 members, Michelle Davis and Judy Riker, presented for reappointment, and they both come with the recommendation from the Executive Director, Teresa Pope.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Are there nominations for these 2 spots?
I'll nominate Judy Riker and Michelle Davis.
Very good. Both nominate to refill spot. Any other discussion on that? So we have a nomination. How would you like to vote, Madam Clerk?
We'll call roll.
Okay.
Okay, so
This is for both of them together?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Both to Michelle and Judy, thank you for stepping up and continuing to serve the Housing Authority. We appreciate that vital work that goes on and for you continuing to serve your city. Thank you very much. Okay. You've got one more, I think, right?
That's just a vacancy notice that'll be presented to you for appointment next meeting.
It's just another notice. Okay, very good. And it's one vacancy, and I see right now it stands with 1, 2, 3 applicants.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that, ma'am. Okay, let's go on to Commissioner and Mayor comments. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Excellent Veterans Day ceremony today. I have to say that I really liked, I mentioned to a few people, we have stepped that game up so well and led by the mayor here, and very proud of both Memorial Day and Veterans Day and what it's turned into. As was mentioned earlier, fantastic speakers and a very bright kid here in New Smyrna Beach. The Baloo Kid. So it's very special, and I always will say that out of all the things we attend in the city, the Veterans Day and Memorial Day ceremonies are the two things that I will continue to attend when I'm off this dais. It's very special. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, Mayor, Phil Hall passed away, and Phil Hall was instrumental in the pickleball community. And I remember when he first came and started talking about how we need to build pickleball courts, I didn't know what pickleball was, and I thought this guy was crazy. And it took about 2 years or so to get his idea on a budget, and even longer to build the Page Avenue pickleball courts, which are still in the process of being built. And I would like to propose that we honor Phil Hall by naming the pickleball courts at Page Avenue after him, dedicating the courts to him.
Nice. So procedurally, we need an ordinance for that, and you'll prepare that? Is that how that works?
Most likely, we'll put it back on the agenda as a resolution.
Without objection, we'll direct the city staff to prepare that ordinance. Okay, thank you. Please do that. Commissioner Martin?
Let's see. I attended 2 presentations about how to preserve our coast and the economic benefit of doing so. It's beautiful and a great return on investment. Attended my first Volusia County Legislative Delegation meeting, an opportunity to hear local municipalities and private citizens interact with their state elected officials and share their concerns. Was really excited to be for the first time on an election canvassing board. I got to see how anonymous, automated, and double verified this elections machine is, and I strongly recommend it to any citizen who would like to see democracy in action. I followed up the week with ACA and Friends of Canaveral fundraisers. We did have a beautiful Veterans Day ceremony, and I want to thank all that participated and take this opportunity to request that we update our current memorial in Riverside Park with names and recognition of those from more recent conflicts. And that's my report.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Commissioner Perrine.
Thank you. I did a Vice Mayor McGurk's sentiments about our Veterans Day today. Fabulous. I love it. Did a great job, Mayor, and all the speakers, and Mrs. Taylor out in the audience. Fabulous. 36 or 37 moves. That's a lot, and we're privileged to have you guys settle here in New Smyrna. But your speech was fabulous, and the singing and vocals and everything. We had a shelter meeting last night for the homeless, and it went really well. We have already our date marked for 2026 Mayor's Ball, and put on your calendar February 7th, 2026. It's going to be Under the Sea, and we are going to have a lot of really nice awards for how far the shelter has come since the beginning. And I'm going to put out a little newsletter stating how many meals we've served, how many veterans that we've helped, and how many people have stayed off the streets and into housing. So be looking forward to that. I'm going to put that, and then also meet with our chief to get our local numbers and maybe have them do a little presentation update again with our camps and the cleanup and what's going on, that we're heading into the winter. Today it bothered me to know that people had to sleep outside in 31-degree weather, so I appreciate all the help that we get when it comes to our unhoused population, and I want to continue doing that and working with all of the beautiful churches and shelters and everything that we have. We have a lot of people that have a heart for this, and it shows in our community compared to a lot of other communities. I suggest you drive to some of the cities and just see the difference in how we care as a community. It takes all of us to do our work in that efforts. But for now, I just want to thank everyone that has stepped up and helped me and helped the shelter and helped the churches and all the meals. And I'll continue working on that, but please mark your calendars since we have a lot of events coming up for February 7th. It's after the holidays and things will be slowed down enough to where we can all help with that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. City clerk points out that we're a little bit out of order here, so I would like to entertain a motion to excuse Commissioner Ashley, who could not be with us tonight.
So move.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you for squaring me away there. First Step Shelter and your leadership there has been nothing short of amazing. Commissioner Perrine, thank you for that effort, and it continues to benefit our city. For those of you who don't know, there's a case law called Pottinger, which doesn't allow us to remove those that would be sleeping and camping in our neighborhoods without a place to take them. And so because of our relationship with the First Step Shelter up in Daytona, and we pay for that, we now have an option that the police officers can enforce for saying, we have a place to take you, would you like to go there, before we do other measures. So, and the First Step Shelter has come a long way since it started. Stormwater Subcommittee of elected officials in Volusia County, of which I'm a part and a member, has been active. Many of you have heard Ben Bartlett, our county engineers, County Public Works Director, speak directly about all the initiatives and how New Smyrna Beach sets the pace for stormwater management in our initiatives. And so we'll have Mr. Bartlett come back. He's been here before. We'll have him come back and do his presentation again and again and again till we get the word out to everybody that it's not idle. We're moving there. Senate Bill 180. I got to speak to the legislative delegation that came to DeLand a week or two ago, and was able to thank them for their $1 million authorization budget for the West Side Stormwater Project. Also encouraged them to give us some funding for 2 other projects involving stormwater, and then spoke, as many other mayors did that day, about our dislike and our opinions about Senate Bill 180, encouraging them to adopt the county's amendment that the county attorney has put together, and as a way to push back and preserve our home rule here. It is the opinion of most of the cities, most of the 415 cities in the state, and 65 of the 67 counties in the state, that this approach will yield the best results and the quickest. The suit that we've heard, that will continue to go forward. The bet is that we'll get there faster with legislative change in this legislative cycle than the suit would whenever that suit takes place, whatever number of years. So that's our position, and we're moving. And the Volusia County League of Cities, the Florida League of Mayors, and many other large organizations with lobbyists are working that tirelessly on our behalf. I'm delighted with the vote turnout of 25%. No other primary or special election in recent history has had that. So, Mr. Cowper, for you and the team for getting the word out, thank you so very much. And the last point is for the city staff at the Brannon Center, Leisure Services Director Salazar, the manager of the Brannon Center, Jonah, and then Ava Hanner for putting on today's event. It was inspiring. People left happier than they came in, and that was the mission. So those of you who participated, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Thank you, and that's my report. Madam City Clerk, a report from you.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Madam Assistant City Attorney.
No report.
Mr. Manager.
Nothing, sir.
Very good. Thank you so much. We're adjourned at 7:38.